Ever wonder why, even when you have a full day of work ahead of you, you find yourself just scrolling, and scrolling? You're not lazy, I promise. I know it feels like it, but deep down you're probably tired of hearing that word. Because you know you're capable. So why do you keep avoiding the hard stuff? What if I told you that your brain isn't just procrastinating for fun? What if it's actively trying to protect you? Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me. Welcome to Lock Theory number 4, where we break down how your brain works, why you stay stuck, and how to get past it. This is the series that doesn't just give you more motivational fluff. We're diving deep into the psychology of why you act the way you do. This episode, we're tackling the big one. Why you keep avoiding that important task, that next step in your life, that thing you know you need to do. Spoiler, it's not laziness. It's uncertainty. So grab a seat. We're about to unlock something huge. Let's be real. We've all been there. You've got an assignment due, a project, or even just a simple to-do list. But somehow you end up scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube, or just staring into space. And then the guilt hits. You start to tell yourself you're lazy, you don't have self-control, and you keep going down the procrastination spiral. Again. You've probably told yourself, I'm just being lazy. But that's the wrong story to tell yourself. Because here's the truth. It's not that you're lazy. It's that your brain is avoiding uncertainty. Let me break it down. Your brain hates uncertainty. It's like your brain's worst nightmare. When you're faced with an uncertain task, something that feels big or overwhelming, your brain doesn't see an exciting challenge. It sees potential danger. And when it's not sure what's going to happen, it goes into protection mode. And the best way to protect itself is to distract you with something familiar. Think about it. When you sit down to study or work on that big project and your mind starts racing, it's the uncertainty of that task that causes the mental block. Your brain doesn't know how to predict what's coming next. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff and not knowing how far the drop is. And so your brain says, nope, let's just check our phone first. Here's the thing. This isn't just about distractions. It's not just a matter of getting your head in the game. No, there's more at play here. Your brain isn't just protecting you from the unknown. It's actively keeping you away from feeling uncomfortable. Let's explore that idea. Now let's dive into why uncertainty is so powerful. You see, your brain loves certainty because it feels safe. It knows what's coming next. But when you're faced with something uncertain, like starting a new project or making a tough decision, your brain doesn't just freeze because it's scared of failure. It freezes because it doesn't know what's coming. And that feeling of, I don't know how this is going to turn out, is what triggers the avoidance. Let's talk about school stress for a second. Imagine you're about to study for an exam. Now, exams themselves aren't inherently scary, but the uncertainty of how well you'll do, the pressure to perform, and the unknown outcomes of how much effort is enough. That's what overwhelms you. That's the brain's reaction to uncertainty. The brain doesn't say, hey, you're going to fail. It says, I don't know what's coming, so I'm going to do something familiar. Check social media, watch TV, literally anything other than deal with this. It's not laziness. It's your brain protecting you from the discomfort of not knowing the outcome. Okay, so now you know the real reason behind your procrastination. But what can you do about it? How do you stop avoiding the uncomfortable stuff? Step 1, break it down. When you face something overwhelming, the first step is to make it feel smaller. Instead of thinking, I need to write this huge 10-page paper, focus on the first sentence. The first sentence doesn't need to be perfect. The first sentence doesn't even need to be good. It just needs to be done. Once you've got that one tiny task completed, the uncertainty begins to fade, and you can tackle the next step. By breaking things down into bite-sized pieces, you reduce the uncertainty and make it easier for your brain to move past that block. But breaking things down isn't the whole story. In fact, if you don't address the emotional friction in the process, that's where things start to stall. Stay with me for a second. Step 2. Manage your emotional friction. Think of emotional friction as the stuff that makes the task feel heavy. You know, that feeling like, this is going to be painful, or I don't feel like I can do this right now. This emotional friction makes tasks feel 10 times harder than they actually are.
So what do you do about it?
You build momentum by starting small but with confidence. Let me give you a strategy. Before diving into the task, take 2 minutes to visualize yourself successfully completing the task. Imagine how good you'll feel when it's done. Picture yourself relaxing after knocking it out. This creates positive friction that makes the task easier to start. When you envision success, your brain feels less threatened by the uncertainty. But let's be real. Even with breaking things down and managing emotions, there's one final thing we have to tackle to completely kill that uncertainty for good. Step 3. Create predictable outcomes. This is about building systems that remove the uncertainty of what happens next. For example, if you've ever set a timer for 10 minutes and told yourself, "I'm going to study for just 10 minutes," then you know the power of creating a small, predictable task. By setting clear boundaries and making sure the task has a beginning, middle, and end, you give your brain a roadmap. The more predictable the outcome, the less likely your brain will run for the hills. You don't need to commit to hours of studying, you just need a small win. A small, clear outcome that feels certain. And once you've gotten that, it's easier to take the next step. It's crazy, right? When you think about it, your brain is just trying to protect you from uncertainty. But by breaking things down, managing your emotions, and creating predictable outcomes, you can literally rewire your brain to tackle uncertainty head-on. To wrap it all up, you're not lazy. Your brain just hates uncertainty. But now you know how to work with it. Break things down, manage the emotional friction, and create predictable outcomes. That's the secret to unlocking your full potential and getting things done. Here's your challenge. Tonight, pick one thing you've been avoiding. Break it down into something small and get started. Let's level up together.